Did all Funko fans get ripped off on Black Friday by GameStop? Hey guys.
Hi guys.
So obviously it's a big question in the community. We've seen it everywhere on Facebook, everywhere on Instagram, everywhere on Twitter. People are mad.
Very, very angry over what happened with Black Friday at GameStop. Now, I've had a lot of people get a hold of us and say that their GameStop had the boxes either out on the floor or just kind of stacked wherever. At our GameStop, they kept everything behind the counter and it was pretty well organized, and the manager there, he's a nice guy, so he had everything ready to go. And I know a lot of people were upset because they had people going out and getting the boxes off the floor and just flipping through the sides and finding whatever they could find as gold and just piling it up and taking all of those.
I've seen pictures online where they literally had the stack of 40 right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
So everybody ran in there and they would peek under it to see. So let's talk about some of the problems that occurred during this mystery Funko Pop box, if you will. First off, big problem, the design of the box.
It was a huge problem because this box doesn't have flaps on the inside. You can literally just flip up the side and look directly into the box and see what's in there.
Now, we didn't notice any of ours done that way, but I did see online where people's seal was actually broken. So there was only one seal on these boxes. Some of the seals were broken. I even saw some where they took the seal off and put a GameStop seal back on it.
That's pretty crappy right there.
So it's obviously apparent that some boxes were tampered with. Ours weren't. The seal was fine. But the real issue is, who to blame?
That's the big question. Do you blame the GameStop employees? Do you blame the manufacturing? Do you blame the shipment? Like, who do you place all blame on? Because there's a lot of issues that happen.
So for me, what I think is, that the weird thing is, so it was supposed to be 1 in 5 chance that you got one of the individual exclusive pops, and then 1 of 8 that you would get a gold. Right. So being that we were, I think we had 40 boxes, probably 40. That was the most common.
40 to 50.
Yeah,
almost.
Normal stores got about 40. That would mean that about 1 in 7 of them would be a specific pop, and of course still 1 of 8 would be a gold. So that would mean 35 of those pops would be one of the normals, and 5, now this is rough, 5 would be gold. So I've seen people say that they went in and bought like 24 boxes and didn't even get all the normal characters.
Oh my god, yeah, I had a guy get a hold of me on Instagram and he bought 12 boxes and got 12 claptraps.
Yeah, I mean,
I felt horrible for him.
Statistically, that's impossible.
Right.
If they followed that basis, that mathematical equation. Now, that leads me to believe that when Funko sent these out to GameStop, they didn't put them in pallets designed for those numbers. What I mean by that is when you have mystery minis, they have like the little box that has all the mystery mini packs in it. There'd be like 12 of them. It would have 12 individual, all the different characters basically.
Right.
I don't believe, now this is being nice, this isn't saying that the GameStop employees want, we'll go over that later, but if it was followed correctly, I don't believe that Funko sent GameStop the proper amount. I think it was completely random. And then they kind of grabbed random boxes in the factory or warehouse or whatever and then sent them there. So those numbers weren't correct. Once again, that would be if these boxes weren't tampered with by GameStop employees.
Now, I think that it's possible Funko's numbers are correct, that they're saying that this is the possibility. However, the numbers aren't correct when they ship them out to the store. Some stores got only a couple characters and then other stores only got another couple characters and then other stores got everything. So in order for those numbers to be correct for each individual store, it's going to take a massive effort to make sure that these things are divided up properly.
Yeah, and I think that's where the main fault was.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, sure, GameStop employees probably did peek in it if they were Funko Pop fans and they wanted the gold ones. You know, if they're a Funko Pop fan, we're not going to talk about the people who probably peeked and sold them on eBay. You know, for those people are a different story. But let's just be honest, if you're a Funko Pop fan out there and you work at GameStop, you might look in it for a gold.
Yeah, you might show up to work 20 minutes early just to be like, beep, 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 look for these.
You know, yes, they're at fault, but at the same time, what I really think is at fault is the design of the box, once again.
Yeah.
The fact that employees could even look in them, that's the issue.
I think it's an issue for anybody to look into them, because if you're at the register and you're going to peek through your box for most people and see if you're getting duplicates, or if you're even in the store and they have all of these stacked up on the floor. If I would have seen them stacked on the floor, I would have gone through and make sure I didn't get duplicates.
Of course.
Because who wants to waste their money?
And, you know, that kind of brings up the point, Hot Topic, when they had their little mystery Black Friday pops. They were in a case that you could not see the pop. This is the box that was at Hot Topic. The pop was actually inside this, and then it was wrapped in plastic, so you could not tell at all, neither could the employees, what was inside of this. Now, obviously, GameStop didn't have that same opinion. Now, perhaps Hot Topic, being that they've kind of been in the game, the exclusive game, for a while now, they understand that their employees are, a lot of them are Funko Pop fans, so they knew that they had to hide them for them. Apparently, GameStop didn't think the same thing to be true for their employees.
So I think definitely for next year, they should do something a little bit different, whether it be the design of the box, or even if they're just going to have mystery characters, because I know a lot of people didn't really care for the reaction figures and all the other stuff that was shoved in there. They just wanted the pop. So maybe we should think of something next year where it's similar to what Hot Topic did for GameStop.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are thinking maybe they just threw all the other stuff in there because they wanted to get rid of it. That was kind of the scheme of the box.
Inventory.
Yeah, you know, for me personally, I would have rather just had the pops like this for the $12.50 or whatever, as opposed to having to pay $20 for these boxes. And I saw a lot of people go out and buy like 15 of them, whatever, because, you know, a lot of people wanted to do that because they wanted to ensure that, and I talked about this before this even started, people are going to go out and buy a lot of these to ensure themselves that they will get a gold, or they will get all the characters.
Or
you know?
even a chance at one gold.
Yeah, so it's not, you know, I've seen a lot of angry people about the amount of boxes people bought, but you got to understand, they set Funko Pop hunters up for that. They're not out there going out and buying these and being stingy. This was set up to do this. You know, you had to buy a lot of boxes to ensure that you got them all and you don't have to pay second market prices.
And another issue with that is a lot of the stores didn't limit the number of these that you could buy. I know some stores did. It was up to the discretion of each store manager. And that's another issue, because I saw that some people were buying like 30 boxes, some people bought 2, some people bought 5. So it depended on the store manager, and I know that was a big issue with it too. Yeah,
I thought one really cool thing I saw online, people saying that, you know, in line when everybody's waiting before the store opened, they could tell who Funko Pop fans were.
Yeah.
And then they went and bought their boxes and went out in the parking lot, opened their boxes together and traded. I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's very cool. I would have loved to have done that.
So once again, who's at fault? I don't know, but I'm going to assume that one of these boxes, and this is a nice assumption, because I don't want to assume that every single GameStop was ravaged by employees that went through these, took all the good ones out, sold them. You know, I hope that's not the case, and I do know that it was the case in some stores, but theoretically that's just as impossible as getting gold right now. That would be in every store. However, I just personally think that when these boxes were sent to GameStops, they were not sent in that correct number. So once again, like Mystery Minis, you have a box of 12. All 12 of those are different. This is what was supposed to happen with the GameStop. They were supposed to send a pallet, and 1 out of 7 were Batman, 1 out of 7 were Claptrap, 1 out of 7 yada 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 yada, and then you have like your 5 goldens in there. That didn't happen. So, do you guys feel like you got ripped off? Do we feel like we got ripped off by this only at GameStop Funko mystery box?
I feel like somewhere along the line somebody ripped us off. I don't know who or who was responsible for it, but I feel like I got ripped off.
So you saw our video, you saw we got 3 Batmans, 2 Batgirls. We were lucky.
It could have been worse.
It could have been much worse. We saw people get like 12 Claptraps.
All those Claptraps. I'm so sorry, my friend.
Those are going to be impossible to get rid of because it's not even that cool of a Claptrap.
Yeah, and another thing, you can't return these. So you can't even take that exclusive pop back in there and be like, no, you gave me 100 billion of these. I do not want all of them.
Now, I did see some, this was kind of a good thing. Sometimes you'd go into GameStop and you'd say, well, I got all Claptrap. All I need is a Batman. The manager would look in there and say, okay, here's one, here you go.
Yeah.
Like that, that's cool, but it should never existed in the first place.
With GameStop, they buy back a lot of things. I don't know if this is something that they will buy back or not. I highly doubt
They're trying to get rid of this crap and run from it.
It's not selling, so they're like, let's just make a big box and get rid of all of our inventory and throw a couple cool things in there.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like we did get ripped off in the sense that this was just not evenly distributed. It feels almost impossible. I mean, we literally got almost 50% of the Batmans in our store.
Yep.
Off of 5 boxes, so it just wasn't evenly distributed right now. Granted, that could all be just random and everything, and I would have. And when we did our video, I just took it for wow, we had bad luck, but still kind of good luck because it wasn't Claptrap or whatever.
Right.
But then I go online and I start seeing people's stories.
We weren't the only ones who had really crappy luck that day.
And some people had much worse luck. Trust me. So you know, like I said, you know, yes, I feel like we did get ripped off somewhere, but I think this is a starting point where they can at least look at and see where they went wrong. So if you guys are willing to do this next year or Funko fans are willing to buy these next year, they can learn from this mistake, because it definitely was a mistake and it's making a lot of people angry, which I completely understand. People literally, I mean, these are $20 boxes.
Right, we spent $100 on this.
And that's light. You know, I've seen people go out and buy 15 boxes and get just an absorbent amount of the same character, and it's, like I said, almost impossible. Now when you go to other stores, then you're dealing with different numbers, and you know, you're kind of playing with fire. But when you stick to one store and you buy a lot of boxes, you are expected to be able to get every character. And that's why people bought a lot of boxes. It didn't happen, and that's where the problem lies. So guys, we are interested to know, tell us your nightmares, tell us your stories. Do you feel like you guys got ripped off by this box? Are you okay with this being just like a starting point to learn from, that maybe next year they can make something better? Or are you just going to say, no, GameStop, I'm never buying a pop from you again. You royally screwed us.
I've had a lot of people say that they will never buy a pop from GameStop or do this mystery box next year, so.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it was fun. It gave everybody something to go out and buy on Black Friday, to be out amongst the crowd of crazies. You know, I think that's fun, you know, in a way. You know, I don't really like shopping for other stuff, but for Funko Pop hunting on Black Friday, it's fun.
It was a lot of fun. Hot Topic, I had a blast going. It was really easy, in and out, fun thing. And GameStop, I waited in line. Everything was great. Getting the boxes, like, yeah, I got my boxes. And getting home and opening them, I was like, what the? So it was kind of fun up until the reveal. And then I was like, man, this kind of sucked. Yeah,
so, I mean, I guess the big question is, where do they go now? I mean, are these... Okay, this could get worse. So, you know, this stuff could get worse before it gets better. Number one, what's going to happen with this box? I've seen that it's gone online now a couple times. Is this going to be around now always and not actually be a Black Friday box? Or will it show up as a regular licensed pop that's a GameStop exclusive in their stores?
Yeah, and if that happens, that's going to cause a major problem for a lot of people, because they wanted this to be a mystery thing that they went out and kind of hunted and fought for. And then if we're going to go into the store and be able to pick up all of the characters, why did we waste all of that money on these boxes?
Minus the pins and reaction figures and all the other stuff.
The stuff that you don't want.
Alright guys, so let us know in the comments and we will see you next time.
Thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.